Hi everyone, and welcome back here. Today we'll be discussing a very significant issue, and that is the way we talk to ourselves after a setback, mistake, or failure, and how that influences our motivation, self-control, and ultimately ability to achieve our goal. How do you talk to yourself after something goes wrong? After you experienced a setback or you made a mistake? What are some of the typical things that go on in your mind? What are some typical sentences that you tell yourself? How do you feel after that? And what do you usually do to recover from that mistake? What does that typical pattern of behavior look like in your life? The answers that you give to these questions are actually not trivial. Studies show that people who have a kinder self-talk after a mistake or setback actually are more motivated and have higher self-control and are better able to achieve their goals than people who speak to themselves very harshly, who criticize themselves or talk in a way that punishes themselves for that mistake. No matter which goal you set, there are going to be setbacks. We never just progress to our goals with success after success. There will always be a couple steps back with all the steps that we are taking forward. And the way we deal with those setbacks actually influences how well we are able to progress towards our goal after that setback. People who have a more self-compassionate way of speaking to themselves, who are more forgiving in connection to their mistakes and flaws, actually have more motivation to keep trying and to keep walking the path they chose towards their goal than people who are very harsh to themselves. Let's take a look behind the scenes. Let's look at the reasons for this dynamic. Whenever we are striving to make a change, to change a habit that we know isn't healthy for us, or if we're striving towards a certain goal that we dream of achieving, we need to invest into that goal. By this I mean that we do things that will get us towards that goal, or that will help us implement this change in our life. For this we also need motivation and self-control. We can only keep investing into our goal as long as we are motivated for it and have the energy or self-control to guide ourselves there. Along the path to our goal or habit change, we will experience successes. We will experience moments where we do exactly what needs to be done and where we come closer to our goal or habit change. This success is very motivating. It feeds into our motivation and gives us the energy and self-control to keep up with the investment into our goal. But, of course, there will also be setbacks. No one ever achieved a goal without trying a couple of times, without falling on their nose a few times, without having a failure setback or doing a mistake. And this is a very crucial point on the journey of our habit change or to our goal. And that is the question how we are going to deal with this setback. Many times a lot of people react with punishing self-talk. That means they will express frustration and anger at themselves. They think that if they really face themselves with how bad they are of a person, that somehow this is going to motivate them to keep going, which actually doesn't work. So we have this misconception that in order to be motivated to change, we need to first feel really, really bad about ourselves. But that doesn't work. Typical examples of this kind of self-talk would be to say, I'm such a loser for not being able to do this. I'm so embarrassing. I'm incompetent. I'm impossible. These kind of sentences or this kind of self-talk is what I mean by punishing self-talk. Often we do this out of habit or unconsciously, or perhaps also because we somehow believe that this will help us reach our goal. However, the truth of the matter is that Punishing self-talk is actually demotivating. It makes us feel down, depressed, shameful, hopeless, frustrated, and we actually inhibit ourselves instead of giving ourselves energy to keep going. And this effect of inhibition can actually even be seen in our brain's activity. Once we've talked ourselves into this state of being demotivated, we usually feel this need to soothe ourselves, to build ourselves up again, or to just get some energy somewhere. And usually this leads to diversion. It makes us do exactly those things which we were trying to replace with healthier habits. Or it just gets us off track in the pursuance of our goal and makes us put our goal aside for some time, or maybe even forever. This route of punishing self-talk after a setback has been investigated in many studies, and researchers find that the more people engage in this punishing self-talk, the less likely they are to actually reach their goal. The alternative here is to react with self-compassion after a setback, to tell yourself that, well, no one ever managed to achieve a goal right at the first try. And I'm actually proud of myself for setting this goal and sticking with it. And I'll try again tomorrow. Self-compassion feeds into our motivation and self-control, and then allows us to get back on track in the pursuance of our goal. To sum up, you don't have to feel ashamed or bad about yourself after a setback in order to be motivated to reach your goal. Actually, this kind of punishing self-talk is a huge waste of time and energy, and it will not help you reach your goal quicker. Actually, the contrary is true. There's absolutely no necessity for you to be harsh to yourself and to kick yourself into the behind in order to reach your goal. It's a lot more effective if you treat yourself gently and as a good friend would. Sometimes this is called the friend perspective. To talk to yourself in the way you would talk to a very good friend. To accept the setback and compassionately guide yourself back on track. Studies have shown a long list of benefits of being more self-compassionate. And obviously one of them is that you will be more successful in achieving your goals. And another one that I found very interesting is that people who have a higher self-compassion are actually happier than people who are very harsh to themselves.